Life can thrive almost anywhere on Earth, and salt pans actually are no exception. In fact, places that seem inhospitable often turn out to be quite suitable for life, as long as there's enough food and not too many predators around. In southern Africa, there's a unique spot teeming with a fascinating variety of birds. We're in the territory of the Vermont Salt Pan, which is truly extraordinary for a reason. The salty soil here meets a good number of water bodies, some of which even have strong currents. You'll get to see and observe these currents a bit later. The Vermont Salt Pan covers around 42 acres. By the way, the name Vermont comes from the French Mont Vert, meaning green mountain. The strong groundwater here indeed supports vegetation growth, but the name actually comes from the nearby green-covered Hermanus mountain, which inspired the name for this area. Nearby, there are small villages that are better suited for short stays rather than permanent living. Interestingly, a separate tourist trail called the Vermont Trail has already been established along the salt pan. Nature enthusiasts often visit this not crowded area to enjoy the diverse bird species. Their fascinating flights can indeed be looked at for hours. The bird population is especially abundant in spring and early summer. In just 1 hour near the salt pan, you might spot up to 40 different bird species. However, during dry periods, many of them migrate away, sometimes even traveling to other parts of the world. This is a habitat for truly unique species. Now, you can also get a sense of the current strength here. The strongest birds prefer these kinds of locations, of course. However, the turbulent streams in this area can also turn into calm lagoons. Every bird finds its own perfect spot here. And by the way, there are also a lot of fish in this area. So, shall we start meeting the fascinating residents of this incredible place? The red-knobbed coot is preening itself. This bird draws lots of attention to grooming its feathers. It spends more time solely on searching for food. By the way, observing this bird up close can be quite tricky since it's very shy and quickly flees at the slightest hint of danger. It likes to eat duckweed, roots, and stems of aquatic plants, and sometimes even small invertebrates. This species even dives quite deep to catch the latter dishes. It can also forage on land, depending on where the food is better. The red-knobbed coot lays 5 to 7 eggs at a time, and both parents take turns incubating them. Interestingly, once hatched, the chicks leave the nest very quickly and stay close to their parents for about a month. The young birds become fully independent in finding food when they're approximately 55 to 60 days old. The 2 red knobs on the bird's forehead help distinguish it from other species. These markings appear only during the breeding season. During this time, the red-knobbed coot is particularly territorial and vigorously defends its private space. The Cape shoveler is often a desired catch for many hunters. Unfortunately, a lot of young red-knobbed coots do not survive due to their parents' aggressive behavior, sometimes overly. You can easily distinguish the males of this species from the females. The first ones have bright yellow eyes. These birds usually have voyages in pairs or small groups. Here is a male Cape shoveler with striking yellow eyes. This duck eats both plant and animal food. Its diet typically includes mollusks and insects. The incredible bird diving right now is a giant crested grebe. It's about the size of a common mallard. In many countries, this bird is either extinct or critically endangered. The grebe is an excellent swimmer, but is reluctant to fly, even though it can do that very well. It only takes to the air during seasonal migrations, flying quite low. It has a wingspan of around 35 inches. Its favorite food is fish, but it also eats small mollusks and crustaceans. If the food is scarce, it will also consume various larvae and even frogs. The grebe dives to depths of 13 to 19 feet to catch its prey and can hold its breath for several minutes. It has a sharp beak that it uses skillfully underwater to catch tasty prey. During the spring, the grebe develops distinctive features: black feathers that resemble ears, and a reddish collar around its cheeks. These markings are present only during the breeding season. Interestingly, its chicks can swim and dive almost immediately after they are born. There's plenty of space here for all the birds. The black-winged stilt is an amazing species with long legs and is around the size of a pigeon. It's highly sensitive to changes in its environment. Its numbers are decreasing, and the bird often has to migrate due to human activities that affect water levels in wetlands and even lead to the loss of its breeding grounds. Chemical pollution also contributes to worsening conditions for the black-winged stilt. The gray heron can reach a height of 33 to 39 inches. Additionally, it can fly quite high and fast, up to 40 miles per hour. While it can search for food alone, it usually lives in large colonies. This unique species is typically found near bodies of water, where it hunts for various insects and larvae. It's a migratory bird with different strategies, making both short and long flights on a case-by-case basis. The gray heron has a quite diverse diet, with fish as its main food source. It also eats amphibians, mollusks, crustaceans, insect larvae, small rodents, and even snakes. This is not a seagull, as it might seem at first glance, but a kelp gull. Even though you only see one bird now, it usually lives in small coastal colonies. The species is monogamous and nests close to the shore, generally no more than 110 yards from the water. A single clutch typically counts for 2 to 4 eggs, with both parents taking turns to incubate them. The chicks can fledge and fend for themselves about 30 days after hatching. Among all recorded cases, the oldest of this species lived for around 12 years. Here you see a flock of white-breasted cormorants. They got their name from their white neck and breast. This is a fairly large bird, with a length of up to 35 inches. It prefers to live near open water, whether salty or fresh. This includes various lakes, rivers, deltas, bays, and lagoons. The key requirement is a plentiful supply of fish. In addition to its favorite meal, it eats small invertebrates, crustaceans, frogs, mollusks, and occasionally even snakes. The bird needs only about 17 ounces of food per day. Interestingly, it can swallow fish up to 30 inches long, whole. The white-breasted cormorant is perfectly adapted for fishing. It has a low body fat percentage, but very strong muscles. The bird can chase its prey underwater, diving to around 12 feet and holding its breath for up to a minute. You're currently seeing a small flock, but white-breasted cormorant colonies can range from 10 to 500 pairs. In search of food, they may travel up to 35 miles, and during migration, they can cover thousands of miles. The great gray heron has a unique S-shaped neck that is flexible, allowing it to quickly straighten and catch its prey. It swallows its meal whole. In addition to fish, crustaceans, and amphibians, the heron also preys on small birds or chicks. It catches food by slowly walking along the shore, or by standing still and waiting for its prey to come close. Interestingly, the heron can search for food both during the day and at night. Its vision is well adapted for hunting in low light. Overall, the population of this species is quite stable, although there are occasional cases of hunting this beautiful bird. The kelp gull can live near the ocean or close to freshwater bodies. These are adults. Young birds have dark brown feathers on their backs, and it takes them 3 to 4 years to reach full maturity. Here is a young kelp gull with its brown back feathers. This bird is walking along the shore. It is omnivorous, meaning it eats any small prey it can find, including garbage. It will even scavenge on carrion. These are gray heron chicks. These species can nest in trees or near water. They tend to return to the same nest, or at least the same nesting area, each year. Typically, these birds are monogamous for 1 or several breeding seasons. The pair formation process involves a ritual. The male calls to attract a female until he finds a mate. Once she agrees, the pair performs a ritual involving the raising and lowering of their wings and the clacking of their beaks. The male gathers materials for the nest, while the female builds it. They take turns incubating 2 to 3 eggs at a time, which are laid one by one at intervals of about 2 days. Incubation usually lasts 25 days overall. After hatching, the chicks are fed alternately by both parents for another 7 to 8 weeks. By this age, the young herons can typically fly on their own and start finding food independently, although they usually stay close to their nest for a while longer. Pink flamingos are incredibly fascinating birds that add beauty to any environment. Their wingspan can reach 59 to 67 inches, and they stand up to 59 inches tall. Not only are they beautiful, but they are also very fast and capable of flying at speeds of up to 37 miles per hour. These birds are highly social and can sometimes form migration groups in the thousands. Pink flamingos stroll along the water's edge during the day, searching for food. Their diet mainly includes mollusks, crustaceans, crabs, insects, and occasionally small fish. These birds are very patient and methodically hunt for the best options. They also eat plant-based foods, such as shoots, seeds, and algae. The flamingo's beak is uniquely designed to function as a filter. The bird dips its beak into the water, sometimes even immersing its head, and sucks in the water. It then expels this water, keeping only the tasty and nutritious food. These fascinating birds prefer warm regions and are often found in small, typically saline or alkaline lakes. If food is scarce, they might even stop breeding. Therefore, they frequently move to find better feeding opportunities. The Latin name of kelp gulls is Larus dominicanus. There is a legend that this bird was somehow related to the Dominican order, but the story is so old it's impossible to confirm or disprove it now. However, this plumage indeed resembles the clothes that the members of the said order wore. Despite their delicate appearance, flamingos are not only excellent flyers, but also strong swimmers. They often bathe to keep their feathers clean. Flamingos are monogamous, but only for one breeding season. Their courtship display is quite a sight, with synchronized wing lifting, head bobbing, and elaborate grooming rituals. They build nests in pairs, usually laying one egg, and rarely two. Both parents take turns incubating the egg for up to 30 days. The chicks stay close to their parents and are usually grayish in color, gaining their adult plumage only after 2 to 3 years. They typically begin flying between 65 and 90 days after hatching, and reach breeding maturity at 4 to 6 years of age. The main threat to pink flamingos is, unfortunately, human activity. Changes in climate and precipitation negatively affect their breeding sites. Industrial pollution, which introduces heavy metals like lead into the water, poses a significant health risk to these birds as well. Additionally, flamingos are often hunted or captured for captivity, which further threatens their population. Estimates suggest there are only about 680,000 pink flamingos worldwide. From a distance, it's not obvious why flamingos are called pink, as they appear almost white. However, up close, they can be described as white-pink. Their distinctive feather color comes from carotenoids in their diet. Purely pink feathers are only visible when the bird is flying or simply lifting its wings. Flamingos have 4 toes on each foot that give them stability on land. This allows them to walk slowly and gracefully around the shore in search of food, even though their slender legs might seem fragile from afar. In fact, these legs are quite sturdy, though there's a little secret. Flamingos often rest standing on one leg, but it takes some time to hold this pose. Balancing is also quite complicated for them. By the way, their legs are indeed pink. Flamingos also have a powerful, curved beak. This beak is 4 to 5 inches long and is pink with a black tip. This is the reason why they got their name, according to one version. In Arabic, their name means sea camel. Still, there is another version explaining the origin of their name. It likely comes from the Portuguese and Spanish conversational Flamingo, which means flame-colored. You can hear a flock of flamingos from quite a distance because they have very loud and distinct vocalizations. They use these calls to warn each other of danger and to communicate within the group with different signals. Pink flamingos are found all over the world. They usually only move to new areas when the conditions in their current habitat become unfavorable. They can migrate both during the day and at night, choosing the best times, such as when there are no clouds and there's a helpful tailwind. Interestingly, they fly at a height that helps them avoid predators, eagles, in the first turn. In just one night, a flamingo can cover up to 370 miles, a truly impressive endurance. The black-winged stilt, though small, is quite intelligent, resilient, and social. It adapts its feeding habits depending on the environment and makes the most out of even small opportunities. While they can search for food alone, these birds will band together to protect their nesting sites from predators, and they do that quite effectively, by the way. Most often, other birds attack them. This species is numerous and widespread, but its biggest threat is habitat loss, largely due to human activities. The wingspan of white-breasted cormorants ranges from 47 to 59 inches. In the wild, these birds can live up to 20 years if they're lucky. Unfortunately, they often face threats from humans who hunt or shoot them, sometimes for a silly reason. Fishermen see them as competitors. However, in fact, white-breasted cormorants mostly eat small fish that are typically ignored by fishermen. Moreover, just the mere presence of people can scare these birds away from their nests. Cormorants are naturally timid, or perhaps have learned to be very cautious. Besides human activities, the challenges for these birds include attacks from predators, including other birds, frequent starvation, and accidents like crashing into rocks. Around 55% of chicks don't survive their first year. Areas near Vermont Salt Pan are not only comfortable for living, but also protect the birds from fishing nets and oil pollution, which are common near ports. Unfortunately, despite its unique qualities and biodiversity, Vermont Salt Pan still lacks protected status, even though this idea has been on the agenda for a long time already. The main obstacles are a lack of funding and commercial interests. A clear example of the latter reason is the cutting down of eucalyptus trees to make way for new housing. As a result, birds that used to live in these trees have simply left the area. Other species also can't feel completely safe. There's no proper oversight in the area, so poachers and hunters can act freely. The challenging terrain sometimes deters them. Often, they just move on to easier, more accessible areas. It's worth acknowledging the efforts of local authorities who have prioritized creating a protected area here. This place truly deserves to be preserved so that future generations can enjoy this piece of the sky, or, speaking more precisely, a true paradise on Earth.